Hi class, this is the last blog in 633 and it deals with best practices. I looked at the readings this week and I came away with the thought that absolute best practices title is not necessarily the best, but what certain individuals determine to be the best until the next best thing comes along. The reading excerpt, which begins with Keegan's quote, seems to be true in some respects until one looks beneath the surface and realizes that these concepts are true for some types of learners, but not necessarily for all. The article quotes, "Critical online effectiveness research has emerged to demonstrate that internal and socially negotiated dialogue is vital for the advancement of higher order learning, and interaction is essential to the promotion of deep learning." I do not believe this is true of all learners. There are some that are naturally analytical in their personalities and just their bent, and they're deep thinkers who look at root issues, while others need the group dynamic to proceed to this type of thinking. I don't think that it's true for all learners, the statement that this gentleman made. Nasaya in 2013 cited constructivist philosophy, and he recommended that a sound approach to distance education involves instructional strategies that empower the learners to construct their own meanings from the content and apply it in personal ways. End quote. According to this research, best practices encourage instructors to approach online instruction as co-learners with their students. This study also suggests that important practice is inherent in course structure, and that courses need to have very clearly defined objectives and unambiguous directions toward completing the learning process. This is a quote that he quoted someone else in his research that said, "Instructors should not assume that their expectations are as clear to the students as it is to them. They believe that students often feel more secure when they have the expectations explicitly stated or confirmed." That's Nasaya again, 2013. He also declares that the courses themselves should be grounded in the reality of all the stakeholder needs, resources, and capabilities. How capable is the instruction being supported by the institution and the particular online courses? How capable is everyone involved in the courses able to fulfill the stakeholders' needs and resources? In general, constructivist best practices include adequate student support provided by the school in all areas, and student needs assessed and integrated into course curriculum. That means diversified student needs. The next best practice includes course facilitators performing multiple intellectual, social, managerial, and technical roles. They also state that course materials are presented in a logical and easy-to-follow format with clear objectives and directions easy to follow. And then the use of real-world problems are used, and consistent levels of interaction among class members and with the instructor. Finally, Reed in 2013 recommends group work with all members being held accountable, but also that there should be assignments which allow for improvement, feedback prior to final submission, and we see that in our course. This article also recommends that there would be small assignments instead of a few larger assignments assigned to larger percentages of a total grade. Now this is really, you need to look at this in appropriate grade level. And are you talking about K-12 learning, or are you talking about higher education institution learning online? So this is all variable, and you need to look at the particular learning process and environment, and then make these decisions, best practices decisions, based on those things. Thank you so much.